Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today we are checking out another Star Trek The Next Generation episode. Today we are checking out episode 24 of season 6, Second Chances, to prepare myself for DS9 season 3 episode 9, I believe, Defiant. Now, I don't know why this episode goes into Defiant. I don't know the story reasons behind why I should watch this episode first. People were telling me, or at least some people were telling me, don't watch Second Chances before Defiant because there's a twist in Defiant and it'll be ruined if you watch Second Chances. Sorry, my dog is here. Let me open the door for her before I continue. Come in, Huxley. Come up. Hello, right in time for Star Trek. But other people were saying that I should watch Second Chances before I get into Defiant because it's almost like background material. Like the twist in Defiant is only really cool if you've seen Second Chances and stuff like that. So I didn't really know what to do. I pulled my Patreons and my Patreons voted overall majority for me to watch Second Chances before I watch Defiant. So that is what I'm doing today. So this may be a controversial episode because some of you really didn't want me to watch Second Chances before Defiant, but I'm sorry to you guys. My Patreons have voted. They have said what they've said. I've listened to both sides of the argument. I think watching Second Chances before Defiant is the better of the two options just because it is almost like the background material in a way. But again, I'm not sure exactly what the dilemma is in the first place because I have no idea what these two episodes, or I guess what this episode that I'm about to watch today is about. As you can see as well, I don't have my Star Trek shirt. It's not here. It's at my university. So I don't have the Star Trek shirt today, unfortunately, but you know what I do have? Orange juice. I don't know how this relates to Star Trek, but I'm just excited for my orange juice. And if you'd like to check out more of my reactions, you can come to my Patreon of uncut and early access reactions to my movies and TV shows that come out up to 3 weeks early, as well as exclusive Patreon merch, live streams, movie polls, movie reactions, and so much more. Thank you so much if you check it out. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, I'm excited to get back into the world of Star Trek The Next Generation. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed my reaction to episode 24 of season 6 of Star Trek TNG, Second Chances.
Researchers when they were forced to evacuate 8 years ago.
Okay. It's always so sexy to see the Enterprise. I miss it after watching DS9 a lot. Whenever I see the Enterprise, it's like, ha 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 ha, you know? Oh, everyone's kind of in their little dress up over here. Oh, and Riker on the saxophone. Okay, Riker.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I love the space cello as well.
And a request tonight.
Nightbird.
I'd say Rasputin. That would be my request.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nightbird.
Let's hear it.
What was that all about?
Will's been trying to get this piece right for 10 years.
Oh, he can't do it.
He's never made it through the solo.
Second chances, baby.
Go ahead.
Commander, you were needed on the bridge.
Oh no, I'm muted on the bridge. I guess I can't do the solo.
Yes, sir. It appears we will be able to transport to the surface sooner than anticipated.
Cool.
It's a good thing. I almost didn't make it off the surface. When can we get started?
97 minutes, sir.
That is so accurate, but it makes sense. He's Data.
This transport window will not occur for another 8 years when the planet's orbit will bring it close enough to the sun.
8 years. There's one rando in the background, so if there's any action, she's definitely dead.
Humanoid. 40 meters due east and closing.
Who is it? What? He looks like a younger version of Riker because he doesn't have the gray in the beard, but what? Second chance? Is time travel? Time distortion? Who knows? But dude, that's a crazy pre-intro twist right there.
Space.
The final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise.
Why did you not return to the Potemkin with the others?
I was the last one out. The distortion field must have interfered with the transport.
Okay, interesting.
If you check with Starfleet, I'm sure they recorded that I was lost on that day. That's not what happened. I was the last one out, and I made it.
And he escaped. This is also directed by LeVar Burton, which is awesome.
It's not that we don't believe you. It's just hard to see how both stories can be true. Would you be willing to have our doctor
I'm
check you
assuming
out?
this is the twist of Defiant. I'm assuming this is the twist.
I was doing some repairs under the station when an earthquake hit. Got caught in a rock slide. I had to set it myself.
Picard's like, what?
Could there be some sort of cloning involved here.
Yeah, that's my first thought.
But can't brain patterns be cloned?
No, they're determined by experience, mostly from early childhood.
Interesting. So he is Riker.
I don't know who or what made it back to the Potemkin that day, but it wasn't me.
Imagine if the Will Riker that we have been following is like an imposter the whole time.
The replicators on the station haven't worked for a long time. It's been a while since I've had a decent meal. Doctor?
What has he been eating then? Like cockroaches?
Massive energy surge in the distortion field around the planet just at the moment you tried to beam out.
Maybe it created two timelines then. Interesting.
It was reflected back to the surface.
And another William Riker materialized there.
That is so interesting.
Which of them is real?
Well, that's the thing. Both. You were both materialized from a complete pattern.
So there used to be one, but then they both materialized into two.
No matter how strange it may seem to us, we now have two Will Rikers on board.
Troy's like, man, which one do I marry?
At least enough to access the database.
Without knowing what he did, that'll be tough.
Well, let's ask him.
I'm hesitant to let him go back until he's been evaluated.
I'll talk to him.
Okay, Troy.
Come in.
It's weird seeing Riker in yellow, don't you think? No, it's not like that anymore. No, it's not like that anymore, Riker. Calm down.
Commander Riker and I are friends. Close friends, but nothing more. Why don't we sit down?
Yeah, he has a lot to go over. 8 years, wow.
We're going to meet on Risa 6 weeks later.
We never did.
I know.
No.
No.
You see, he earned a promotion very quickly.
I know that too.
Wow, he must be super jealous.
We didn't see each other again until we were both posted to the Enterprise 2 years later.
Okay, that makes sense.
Our feelings for each other had changed. We've served together for 6 years.
Hey, they get married in Nemesis, though, don't they?
I had a lot of time on my hands when I was down on that station. There were days that I was so lonely, I thought I might lose my mind. Do you know how I made it through?
Thought about you, Troy.
Thought if I hung on for one more day, they'd rescue me. Maybe I'd see you again.
Yeah, there we go.
But that doesn't mean you can't make a future for yourself.
Thanks.
What an interesting position this Riker is in. His whole world is different.
I reconfigured that computer so many times they probably can't make head or tails of it. I'd be happy to help.
Good, I'll tell the captain. Well,
I'm a little concerned for this Riker, because I think he's a little jealous of the other one.
I know it's been a long time since we've been together.
But I hope he only has good intentions.
And I know your feelings have changed. Mine haven't.
Oh, man.
I'd like to be with you again.
good night, Will.
Oh, she let him down very softly there.
36 minutes, sir.
We are losing time. Lieutenant Riker should be here.
Computer, locate Lieutenant.
There he is.
I've shut down most of the consoles to save power. I've rerouted just about everything through here.
They're doing a really good job filming this as well.
There's been a lot of seismic activity over the years. The servo links were damaged. We may not be able to.
I'll try to tap into the command.
It's so weird seeing Riker talk to Riker.
You know, I've been thinking we should probably let Dad know what happened. I'm sure he'd be thrilled to know there are two of us now. What did he say when you turned down your own command? He couldn't understand why I did it.
Because being on the Enterprise is sick. What other reason do you need?
The servo link must be damaged. We're going to have to go into the station, access the core directly.
Under the station?
I'll be finished by the time the third window opens. It's too dangerous. Our scans show the caverns are unstable.
How about both Rikers stay here?
We're ready to beam out. You go ahead. I'll be finished by the time you get back. Hold it. I gave you an order, Lieutenant.
Oh, interesting.
Computer, valerian root tea, hot.
I like my Valerian root tea kind of mild, you know what I mean? Like lukewarm. I wonder if it's going to be that date that they missed.
All through the night, seek out the crystal that powers our flight.
Riker's a little Riddler, isn't he?
Help you, Counselor?
No, thank you.
Jodie's like, why was that there? Oh, there he is. Romantic devil.
Where did you get this?
I made it a couple of years ago down on the station.
You made this?
That's so beautiful.
So, how does it feel being with people again?
Great. Strange.
Yeah, it probably is a little strange.
Is that what you've decided to do?
Remember, I'm the one who wanted to make captain by the time he was 35, behind schedule. I'll admit that.
Ah, you can do it.
Things are a little more complicated than I had planned. There's nothing going to stand in the way of my getting what I want.
Interesting. I don't know if if there's malice in that or if he's just innocently saying that. Like, I don't know how much I trust this version of Riker yet.
They thought that I had been killed in the beam out. No one came down because they thought there was no one to come down for.
And that's not even it. It's because they saved him. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I would look up into the sky and I'd think, if I tried hard enough, I could make you feel my presence.
Oh, man.
Maybe you'd wait for me. Oh, it sounds crazy.
No, it doesn't sound crazy.
Commander Riker and I didn't meet on Risa. What I didn't say was how disappointed I was.
You didn't have to. I knew.
He's pretty smooth, though, this Riker.
Sometimes I'd look into the sky and imagine that he knew, and that somehow he could sense me thinking about
You
it.
guys did the same thing.
You were thinking about me, and in a way, I was thinking about you.
Woo! I got chills there in the end. This is a great conversation. Also, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but Troy has really nice eyes.
My opinion is too risky.
He said that he was down there recently. He seemed confident that he could be down safely.
There's a good,
Let's do it then.
but it does have a better chance of succeeding.
Given the importance of the data, I think that it's worth the risk.
Okay, let's do it. Do you think Lieutenant Riker is going to die?
Just so there's no confusion, I am your commanding officer, and I expect you to do the same.
Oh!
Yes, sir. There will be a meeting in the observation lounge at 1400 hours to draw up a mission plan.
I want them to be friends. I want both Rikers to be friends.
He walked into my quarters.
Then what happened?
Beverly?
He is Will, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's a different person.
I knew you'd encourage me.
Well, I thought that's why you brought it up.
It might be. Hello, ladies.
Well, I think I'll call it a day.
Dude, she's the best wingman. Oh! Oh, kind of smoldering. Hey guys, hey guys. Oh! Oh, it's happening. Okay, okay. You know, the last DS9 episode I watched was a very steamy episode, Meridian, at the season 3 episode, and now I'm watching this, and this is also kind of a steamy episode.
If you want to be with him, you don't have to ask my permission. It's the look in your eyes. I recognize it.
Oh, wow.
You used to have it for me.
Do you think Will's a little jealous?
I didn't know how you'd feel about it.
Flattered? Sort of.
Yeah, it'd be like a weird, like, oh, she still likes me, but this not me.
If he had gotten off the planet instead of me, don't you think he would have made the same choices that I made?
Yeah, you guys are the same person. He would have made the same choices.
2 pair.
Poker! Poker!
I'd like to thank you both for your very generous contributions.
Riker always wins. Riker versus Riker in poker? Let's go.
Why don't you join us?
That's nice. See, I have no idea how to play poker, so I would be just throwing cards in the middle, throwing chips in the middle.
Mr. Worf.
4.
Is that a bad move?
I'll play these.
And Riker would know Riker, you know what I mean?
Here's your 50 and 10 more.
Oh.
No thanks. Playing it safe.
They're trying to analyze each other.
Here's your 10. And it'll cost you another 100.
100. The deal is sweeter.
You're bluffing. Here's your 100 and 20 more.
20 more.
I thought if one thing were clear by now, it's that you and I play things a little differently.
Yeah, that is true.
I know what I've got, and you'd be lucky to do so well, Lieutenant.
There's so much spite between them.
Here's your 20.
I raised you by 400.
I know you're bluffing. Are you in or not?
All in.
You always had the better hand in everything.
Oh. I bet he lost too. Oh, I wanted him to show me the cards. I was hoping that the Lieutenant Riker would win that, actually.
Captain Picard has made some inquiries and managed to get me a posting on the Gandhi.
When would you leave?
In about a week.
I see.
And how long would you be gone?
After I've served for 6 months, I'm eligible to bring family aboard.
You said those exact words to me before you went to serve on the Potemkin.
Oh, man.
What would have happened between us?
I wouldn't have made the mistake of leaving you.
How do you know that, though?
I'm happy here.
If the situation were different, I'd stay. But I can't. Not while he's aboard.
Oh, man. They
These
both
seconds
have
over.
points.
No.
I think it has to be over, though.
I just don't know if I'm ready to give up my life. Maybe we both need some time.
This must be so tough for Troy. I really feel for her in this situation.
Once we restore the server link, you can shut the database up to this console. You ready, Commander Data?
Kind of nervous that this Riker's going to die.
I think so.
Why?
I am not easy to get along with.
I'd be friends with Worf.
That sense that they are different from everyone else. The existence of a double would preclude that feeling. Could that be the source of the friction?
It's potentially true.
Perhaps it is more a matter of seeing something in your double, something you do not like in yourself.
The Troy stuff as well. I think there's a lot of different things.
It's leaking ion radiation. Why didn't you report this? It wasn't here before. If we have to repair this conduit, we won't have time to access that computer core.
Okay, you're gonna have to push through then. A little ion radiation doesn't hurt anyone. I'm actually immune to ion radiation.
It's working.
Oh, sick. Perfect place to push someone off a cliff. Oh no! Or a perfect place for Riker to fall off the cliff.
Come on! Climb!
Come on, Riker.
One of us has to get out of here! Climb! Come on!
Come on, come on! Giving me Lord of the Rings vibes, if you know what I mean. Okay, Riker's up though. They both saved each other. Oh, okay, I fully trust Lieutenant Riker then. How are they gonna get back though? Super jump.
They've restored the server link to the core.
Oh, that's
we can begin
good.
downloading the database.
Oh, that's good.
Captain's log, stardate 46920.
Lieutenant Riker didn't die. I thought he was going to.
That's right. It'll take us 4 months just to get there.
I won't be joining you.
That's so rough.
Come in.
Another Riker. Ha! There we go.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
And they're friends now. The saxophone.
Things that I suppose belong to both of us. The least I could do is give you this.
That's so nice.
I actually thought I might go with the name Thomas.
Your middle name.
Thomas Riker, okay.
I sort of like it. I guess I better get going.
I love that they're friends now. And this might be something that sparks the relationship between Troy and Riker in season 7 and the movies as well. That was such a great episode, guys. Oh, that was a really fun episode. I'm really glad I watched it. I don't know if I'm going to be glad that I watched it before DS9 Defiant, but I'm really glad that I did watch this TNG episode because it was a lot of fun and it was really cool and really well done. And yeah, I don't know, I really like the concept. It's cool. And that was my reaction to Star Trek The Next Generation, episode 24 of season 6, Second Chances. And there's no second chances for me now. There's no going back. I have now officially watched Second Chances before Defiant, so I will probably be able to figure out what's happening in the episode instantly, as people are saying, but I don't think it's going to hamper my enjoyment of the episode, because if the episode is anything like Second Chances, I'm going to really like it, because I loved the concept of the episode. I always like doubles in things, like if someone's cloned or if there's just two of the same character in something. I always really enjoy that because I love seeing how a character will interact with themselves, and also just the whole concept of it is interesting. So that's why I really like Second Chances, but I also think that they did the concept really, really well, seeing how Riker hated Riker, you know what I mean? Will Riker hated Thomas. I'm going to call him Thomas Riker just so we can differentiate the two of them. But I really liked how much they disliked each other, but it also made a lot of sense because both of them had things about themselves that they kind of wished that they had. You know what I mean? Like Will Riker had the promotion, he had the work, you know what I mean? He was a commander now and stuff like that. But he didn't have what Thomas Riker had, which was Troy, you know, that potential relationship with Troy, that fresh start and stuff like that. So it was interesting how both of the Rikers had something that the other one wanted, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I thought this episode was filmed really, really well. I was thinking it was filmed by LeVar Burton, which is super, super awesome. I love when cast members become directors as well. I love seeing in DS9 especially, you see Jonathan Frakes' name as a director a lot, especially in season 2 and 3, and it's really cool to see that, especially the transition between TNG and DS9. By the way, if you're first time on the channel watching this Star Trek reaction, I'm watching through DS9. I'm on season 3 right now. Obviously this episode was in preparation for Defiant, and yeah, I thought the filming of this episode was really great because 2 Rikers means you have to use Jonathan Frakes twice in a scene, and sometimes it can be very hard to film, but I thought they did a really good job of making the Rikers feel like they were both part of the same sequence. I especially loved when they would have the Rikers interact with each other. The first time that Riker pops on screen, they actually did something, well, the first time Thomas Riker popped on screen, they actually did something that was really, really smart, and it's something that's very subtle, but it's something that if you're doing cloning shots like this, where you have 2 of the same actor on screen, it's something that's very necessary, and that's having both characters like Will Riker and Thomas Riker, both Jonathan Frakes, interact with each other. And the way that they did this, the way that LeVar Burton did this and framed it and stuff, was he had a camera still, so it's easy to kind of mask one side of the frame and mask the other side of the frame. But the way that he made them interact with each other is they had Will Riker circle Lieutenant Riker, circle Thomas Riker, and they don't touch each other, you know, and stuff like that. But the fact that Will Riker goes behind Thomas Riker and then in front of Thomas Riker, it really just integrates that other Jonathan Frakes, Thomas Riker, into the scene and makes it feel super believable. You know, if they were just talking, like if I don't know, Will Riker is here and Thomas Riker is here and they were just talking to each other like this, sure, it can be believable, but you can kind of just go, oh, well, they're just 2 different plates and stuff like that. But as soon as you have more interaction, as soon as you have Will Riker walk behind and in front of Thomas Riker, it just makes everything so much more believable. And I love that they did that instantly when we first see Thomas Riker, which it was awesome. And they do it a lot in this episode as well, where they kind of walk in front or behind each other, which is really cool. The whole like pulling him up of the bridge, really easy to do that shot, but also very effective. You know, you just have, you know, one shot of Jonathan Frakes on top of a bridge and you do all his scenes. You maybe have like a stunt double or something, you know, hanging, who's just in the same costume, and then you have a reverse shot of Jonathan Frakes hanging off the bridge and a stunt double wearing Riker's clothes, like the red ones, the red clothes, commander clothes, on top of a bridge, and you just see his hands. Really easy to do that shot. And even in the wide shots, you just have one guy who looks like Riker looks like Riker, and the other one actually be Jonathan Frakes and stuff like that. But really easy to do, but very convincingly done is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, I never once was like, oh, these are just 2 different plays, it's just the same actor twice. I was always like, these are the 2 characters on screen, which I found awesome. Also, just I loved seeing the Thomas Riker version of Will Riker. I just really liked that. The whole Troy stuff in this episode I also thought was very believable. I felt like it could happen, and I'm wondering if this is the episode that is kind of the inciting incident into Will Riker getting back together with Troy, because as you know, I've seen the movies, I've seen like bits of season 7 of TNG, and so I know that Will Riker and Troy eventually get back together, and I think in Nemesis they even get married at the start of the movie, so I know this relationship comes back full circle and they become a couple again. So I'm wondering if this episode is the inciting incident into that. Is Will Riker kind of looking back at Troy and going, wow, this is something that I actually want, and then, you know, it kind of spirals from there until they get married. But I really did like the relationship that Thomas Riker was building with Troy. I thought it was very romantic. I thought it was really well done. I liked that he was thinking about her all the time. The conversation that they had at that dinner table in like the pub area of the ship, where they were talking about how they looked up at the stars, and Troy said the same thing, how she was looking up at the stars thinking about Riker. So in a way she was thinking about, you know, Thomas Riker, and Thomas Riker was thinking of Troy looking up at the stars. It was a really good conversation, kind of emotional. I kind of got goosebumps a lot of the times, but then obviously like Troy's decision at the end not to stay with him, not to leave with him, it made a lot of sense, and it must have been very, very hard for Troy. But yeah, I'm glad that both Rikers were friends at the end. Maybe, I don't know, it's interesting that we never hear, I mean, obviously I haven't seen a lot of season 7. I've seen probably like 5 or 6 episodes of season 7, so I could be missing something. I haven't seen the whole picture, so maybe he is mentioned again, but it's interesting that, at least for me, he hasn't been mentioned again. I wonder if Thomas Riker will be a part of Defiant, or if just the concept of this cloning thing is going to be a part of Defiant. It'll be very interesting to find out, and I'm very excited for Defiant though, even though I'll probably be able to get the twist instantly. If it's anything like this episode, if we see Thomas Riker again, I think Riker's in the episode. I'm pretty sure he's in the thumbnail of Defiant, so Netflix just, you know, spoils that Riker's in the episode, or else I wouldn't have known. But I'm like 99% sure that Riker is in Defiant, but it'd be interesting to see if Thomas Riker is also in Defiant. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, I'm really excited to check out Defiant. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to these wonderful, beautiful, amazing people right here for supporting me and supporting my channel. It really does mean a lot. And yeah, if you want to check out my reaction to Defiant, all of DS9 that I watched so far up to episode 9 of season 3, you can check out my Patreon. But if you don't want to check out my Patreon, that's fine. Patreon is just 3 weeks ahead. I'm on YouTube, or I've started season 3. I mean, if you're watching this, then episode 9 actually will be coming out on YouTube next Wednesday. But yeah, if you haven't seen my DS9 reactions, check them out. I'm watching every single episode. If you haven't seen my TNG reactions, I've watched probably about 25 episodes of TNG, give or take. All the classics, of course, all the classics of TNG, the good episodes, so you can check those out as well. Watched all the movies and stuff. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for my next Star Trek reaction.